Good morning, everybody. I'm Bear with BearIndependent.com. We are doing another video quickly about the Wuhan coronavirus. We need to talk, Internet. Some of y'all are a little spun up. Just a little bit spun up. Where did this thing originate? Oh, it originated at some outdoor meat market. No, it originated at some top secret, sensitive, compartmentalized information facility in Canada that's a bioweapons lab that was then smuggled out to China because Wuhan. Does it matter? Does it matter? I don't mean in the macro to the world. I mean to you. What changes in your world on how you actually deal with this based upon where it came from? Now, does the virus exhibit very interesting characteristics such as potential gene splicing? Perhaps. Because who amongst us has actually independently verified that? Have you seen the virus with your electron microscope? Because I sure as hell haven't. Things to consider. However, what difference does it make to you, to your family, to your neighborhood, to your tribe, to your community, to your church? Does the rate of infection for the people that you love change depending upon whether it was bat soup, snake guts, or Canadian virology? No, it doesn't. Next, we're going to talk about POF syndrome. POF syndrome is probably not something any of you have heard of, but you're gonna. POF stands for pants on fire syndrome. Ah! Knock it off. Or take that nonsense elsewhere. That helps nothing. Nothing. We accomplish nothing by eliciting emotional responses to issues that are outside of our control. At best, you are doing detriment to yourself. At worst, you're sticking nails in your own coffin by behaving that way. Stop. Eyes wide open, logical response to the actuality of the situation, not POF syndrome. Remember, POF syndrome. Next, lids and PBA. Low information diet. Lids. I have been on the low information diet for years. I have missed 0 major issues. This many. Understand also that this is information, not intelligence, because intelligence can be independently confirmed and is actionable. A lot of what certain people call intelligence is information. And it may very well be manufactured and very likely is skewed information. Something that I think some people within the sound of my voice need to learn is that you don't just consider the information, you consider the source as well. Okay? Lids, low information diet. Because PBA, that helps to eliminate paralysis by analysis, PBA. That's right. You can know too much. You can definitely have too much information. Way too much information. I think that's a lot of what's going on with this Wuhan coronavirus. Too many people with too many opinions, many of which are underinformed. You will note that I have done my best to keep my mouth shut on the subject because I'm not a virologist. Pandemic outbreaks are not my specialty. I mean, I have researched these things, but I don't live there. That's not what I do every day. And there's enough other people flapping their gums about it on the internet that why do I need to add my voice to it? Yet here we are. Paralysis by analysis. You are overthinking it. Paralysis because DNW, FNV, Delta, November, whiskey. Deeds, not words. Deeds, not words. Facta, non verba. Shut your mouth and do something. Ooh, he went there. Yeah, he did go there. Let's eliminate pants on fire syndrome through a low information diet and eliminate paralysis by analysis so that we can focus on deeds, not words, because it doesn't matter whether this was developed in some ridiculously high-speed lab somewhere or if a couple of Chinese people said, I have a good idea, let's make some chemical soup out of bats and kill everybody with it. Doesn't matter, okay? For your life, for you, your boots on the ground right now, doesn't matter. Because deeds, not words. What are you doing about it? Facta non verba. Show me, don't tell me. Which brings us to PMCS. What preventative measures are you actually taking? Because if all you have done thus far is watch random YouTube clips, read lots of nonsensical websites, and then scream as if your pants are on fire, you've accomplished precisely this much to help you actually be better because of this. Breathe, bear, breathe. Do the things. Do the things. Some basic tips from Bear based upon what we are doing. We wash our hands regularly. We will continue to do so with soap and warm to / hot water because we have toddlers and whatnot. Use disinfectants, whether that's disinfectant gel for your hands, for your hard surfaces in your home, for your whatever, disinfect. Don't be touching your face all the time. Keep your hands out of your mucous membranes, your mouth, your nose, your eyes. Avoid contact with people. Hey man, love you bro, you stay over there. I got a little tickle in my throat, you stay over there. Okay? Yeah, you can mask up. The value of masking up is probably more so in keeping your digits out of your face than it is upon the actuality of the efficacy of said mask. But look, I'm rubbing my eye right now. See? Mask up. We have lots and lots and lots of this stuff. Do you have food that if you had to shelter in place for 3 months for this virus to run its course, do you have food to do that? Do you have water to do that? Do you have toilet paper to do that? Do you have any prescription medications that you might need to do that? Can you withdraw from the world and live an individual life for the next 3 months while this virus runs its course, or a year, because that's how long it's going to take GSK to GlaxoSmithKline to manufacture a antidote to the virus. Antidote's not the word I'm looking for. Vaccine, there we go. We can, and that's not me bragging, it's just a fact, we can. And we have busted our ass to scrimp and save and get to this point to be able to say we can. And lastly, I will say this. Actually, not lastly, 2 more points. I'm going to make a note. In China, right now, there are approximately, as of this morning, 20,000 cases. In the United States, there are 11. Now, I realize this is being grossly underreported because the tests are very expensive and the testing is very limited. So a lot of these cases are going underreported as pneumonia. Copy. Okay, here, let's do this. 1,100. More people have died in car crashes this week in the U.S. than that number right there. But it's not this number. It's this number right now that we know of. 11 in the United States. 12 to 15-ish in certain other European countries, Germany, France, 10 to 12-ish in Australia, 20,000 in China. Good copy, tracking, paying attention to that, but not losing my ever-loving mind because of lids, my low information diet, because I simply don't care at this point, because I don't do paralysis by analysis, because I'm on a deeds not words protocol, because I don't enjoy pants on fire syndrome. Yes, there's 20,000 cases in China. Well, you know, Bear, that reporting out of communist China, it could be 120,000. Yes, it could be. There's lots of things that could be. I could go buy the winning Powerball ticket after this video, win $500 million, and you never get to see this beautiful smiling face again because I'm gone, baby. But 20,000 versus 11. If we get a case in our state, which we don't currently have one, I will sit up and pay even more attention to this. If we get a case in any county adjacent to ours or in our own county, we are sheltering in place until this runs its course. I have already discussed this with my family. I have already discussed this with my friends in my church. We're sheltering in place. That's what we are going to do. We have a plan. It's actually pretty easy. Which brings us back to our preventative measures. Do you have a plan? Ours is really easy. We're going to not stick our fingers in our eyeballs and our mouth. We're going to keep our distance from people. We're going to shelter in place. We have everything we need, or at least everything we forecasted that we need to be able to do that for any length of time, up to and including a couple of years. But right now, it's 11. If that number goes up, and especially if it goes up near us, the next step in our PMCS will be to shelter in place. Lastly, some people hope for things like this. This gets their rocks off. They're just sitting at home on the couch just like, yeah, Wuhan, yeah. No thank you. No sir, not interested. Without rule of law, there is not anybody within the sound of my voice who's prepared for the actuality. I mean, like here and here, prepared for the actuality of without rule of law. I like rule of law. Rule of law is what allows me to stand here with electricity in climate control without rain falling on my head, talking to a little tiny rectangle that has more computing power in it than Ronald Reagan had available to him to run the free world. And then all this is going to get turned into ones and zeros and literally beamed off of freaking satellites and somehow find its way to your eyeballs. There's nobody shooting at me right now. Nobody's trying to blow me up. There's no freaking a-hole with a dull machete trying to cut my head off because of my belief in Messiah. And nobody's going to drag me back to the gulag right now because they don't like what I said about the emperor. Rule of law is cool. And if you're one of those people that's sitting around waiting for without rule of law so we can finally have the great leveling, unsubscribe. That's not how we do things. Eyes wide open. Yes, we pay attention to things, but we don't pants on fire syndrome. I do not want without rule of law. I'm not interested in overreacting or having emotional responses to things outside of my control. I hope that there's some nuggets in here for y'all. And if this gets actually bad, I will be the first one to say, hey, it's actually bad. Now it's time to sit up, switch your eyes and ears on, and pay attention. We're not there yet. Asterisk. We will see. But this is the key takeaway. No pants on fire syndrome. Shalom, y'all.